So welcome in. The dashboard I'm showing here is our kind of our vaccine rollout here in Vermont. As you can see, 30,000 people have been started, 8,000 people have been completed, and so we're heading in the right direction to have that protection needed to combat this virus if it does, if you are infected by it. You can kind of get your body immune, or at least giving your body a really good fighting chance. So the vaccine is definitely something that we all want to think about trying to jump on as soon as we are eligible. As you can see here, we're still plateauing around that 100 cases a day. It's still very active in our area. Again, Chittenden County is one of the worst places currently in Vermont, but we are continue to do your best. We have really been able to execute our protocols excellent by keeping up the communication, calling health and safety. If you have any questions or concern or any issue, anything COVID related, please let us know. And again, remember, the best thing that we can do is, if you're not feeling well, or if you're a little bit worried of a close contact, or there's a situation in your household, please call your supervisor, let them know that what's going on. Stay home, call us so we can help you mitigate and set up best procedures moving forward, so we don't have an outbreak or a spread throughout engineers construction. So that's all I have for COVID. Weather today, they're saying 50% chance of snow, maybe a 1 to 3 inches here in Chittenden County. So good reminder, slip, trips, and falls, but also safe driving out there. Maintain good distances with all the vehicles around you so you have adequate time to stop. With that said, I'm going to pass it over to Alberta. She's going to kind of kick off the rest of our presentation today. So Alberta, thank you for jumping in and presenting today. I'll make you the presenter now, and you can, once you switch everything over, you can get started.
Good morning, everyone. This week's code of conduct is don't overpromise or underdeliver. Safety news, we have 50 days without a recordable injury. And this week we're going to be talking about PPE, the flame retardant FR clothing. It's important part of our PPE, and it is used for our substations and other specific contractors. It's an important fact to know that FR clothing is not fireproof. FR is required part of our PPE program. FR clothing reduces fire-related hazards for employees when they are wearing FR clothing. FR clothing is self-extinguishing, and it will minimize burn injuries caused by flames or embers. And then there's 4 different categories for PPE, and again, it all relies back on what our contractors are requiring us to have. Our basic is just overalls or shirts and pants, but we do move into having bibs, jackets of that sort. So the category 1 is our basic our long shirt and our overalls as the 1 layer, and that is the minimum requirement. So that gives us a arc reflective 4 cal, and then we go down to the shirts and overalls, and it's 1 to 2 layers, and that is the minimum requirement for the 8. And then that's category 2. And category 3, we move up into different suits like flash suits, systems for rating to meet the requirement, and that's a minimum of 2 to 3 layers, and that is minimum for 25 arc flash or arc rating, excuse me. And then the last, we have the category 4, and that is when we have shirt, pants, overalls, and selected suits to help us meet the requirements for the 3 to 4 layers, and that is for the 40 arc rating for the Kelton. And then a really important thing is laundry, and you want to treat these FR clothings as if it was your hunting clothes. You don't want to throw it into fragrance laundry or put it in with your regular clothing. Proper cleaning and maintenance of FR garment is essential to remove potential hazard soils and avoid buildup of materials that would mask the performance. Always follow garment and manufactured care labels, recommendation and other instructions recommended for your FR clothing to ensure continued fire retardant performance. If our garments have a hole larger than a quarter or a rip greater than 3 inches, it's recommended to retire that garment. We want to make sure that bring it to my attention or your project manager to get you replacements so that we have you up and running and with all your equipment.
Thank you, Alberta. Very informative. Definitely with our live substation work, this is one of our biggest requirements that we have. I think we might be getting ready to go to Key, New Hampshire at some point in time in the near future, and this is why this topic is important. Usually that category 1 is where we live mostly because we're keeping a good safe distance away from all power. We're not actually working on live buses or anything like that. So, but again, the maintenance that Alberta talked about is very important. All right, Ken, we'll pass it over to you for the rest of our presentation this morning.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Alberta.
You're welcome, Ken.
I'm gonna open up my, I'm gonna say, so show my screen, and then I'll open it up here to the email. Okay, so announcements, nothing to announce this week. And the weather reminders are the same on treating fuel. And here's the coming week or coming several days, not a whole week here, of forecast. And just like Matt said, some snow showers today, a possibility of 1 to 3, and it does get cold after that. And what doesn't really show up as a real warning out here is that I understand there's some wind chill factors that are getting rather cold. You can see that maybe Saturday and Sunday and Monday are all in the teens, and I think it's supposed to be kind of breezy. So be cautious there. COVID policies are here. And then for the charity giving results, as we've talked about in the last several weeks, and we've highlighted people, the recipients' response to our giving. This week we're talking, we have a presentation video recording from Jamie Hathaway of Make-A-Wish, and we donated a total, or I should say that the employees donated, VCI donated a total of $4,433 to the Make-A-Wish of Vermont. And I'll click the video and hopefully that'll pop up and work here.
We won't be able to hear it though, Ken, however.
Oh, we won't? Okay. All right. So
I did put the link. Everyone should kind of see it on their own device. It will pop up a separate browser. I was thinking maybe at the end of this, we could
there
just
it is.
give
See,
everybody a minute.
You see it?
No.
So okay, back to my regular screen. You see the email again? Okay. All right. So Jamie was very excited about receiving the gift and wanted to pass on all his thanks on behalf of the Make-A-Wish and all of the recipients they have for their their young people who are inflicted with cancer, and I think it's just cancer, maybe beyond that, probably beyond that, but they make a wish, of course, to the young people who are part of their program. So for this week's V-Trans profile, we're talking about the V-Trans South Burlington BM project. Actually, there's some numbers there I missed at the end, the contract number. The purpose here was a bridge trough repair project, and we're contracted with the Vermont Agency of Transportation to replace some 320 linear feet of bridge trough at the four corners of the I-89 bridges. That's bridge number 70, north and south, which goes right over the Winooski River, right there off the airport where the airport runway lights are, just before going into the Burlington corridor into the Winooski exit. The trough catches road surface water and salts passing through the finger joints and drains them away from the vulnerable structure and onto the adjacent slopes. So this was the original trough. I think it had been replaced at least once, but there's the end of the trough as it was when we started the project, or slightly before. And you can see it's torn and ripped and corroded and everything. So each bridge here is there's two bridges. There's a 7-span girder superstructure and was constructed in 1962. See, there's the finger joint where the water drains into the trough. These drawings are of the drain, which if you can see my mouse, this is a cross section through the bridge, and it pitches from like center point here, I guess, and not quite center point, but off to the the left and to the right, and then down onto the abutment. Then there's some details on the discharge pipe, and there's the trough down in this bottom right corner, showing it's a PVC piece of PVC material that's attached to battened on to the side of the opening, and then it's pitched to drain on these brackets. So here we are. It was pretty much not very high work as far as in above ground. It was at the abutments, which is close to the ground. And there's a piece of the new material going in. You can see it's not that deep. It's not that high, I should say. Using the log truck there to handle materials. Access was pretty easy from underneath. And this picture's a little hard to see because it was dark and kind of a narrow slot up through that area, but there's some brackets in the new trough there against the abutment. Another view. So that went really well. We finished up just a week or so ago. Then from the photo archives, or from them, this isn't really from our archives. This is an image this is an aerial photo taken in 1962 while the I-89 bridges over the Winooski River were under construction. And the land to the right of the bridge is the current Burrard Drive, and the image is from the Vermont Center for Geographic Information website. And I have a link there, but they have all kinds of air photos throughout Vermont, mostly from the 1960s, or some obviously more recent ones, but the older ones are mostly 1960s, and I think there's a 1942 version of some of these, which are sometimes very interesting and useful historically for looking at, how a site has changed and what the previous uses of the sites are. So that's what I got. I'll turn it back over to Matt, and everybody have a good, safe day out there and have a good weekend. Watch out for frostbite and all those kind of problems.
Thank you, Ken. And if you wanted to take a minute, I think the video is only 46 seconds. I did have it attached to your how you're able to mute yourself. There's a link there. It's a YouTube link. If you want to take the time to watch that 45-second, I'll extend the training a couple more minutes, and everybody can kind of watch it on their own to hear the message from Make-A-Wish. It's a really good video, and Ben, thanks for taking the time to deliver that from us to Make-A-Wish. It was a really well done video. So hopefully everybody can take the time to watch it.
And thank everyone for their generosity. I sent another simpler link. If you guys have a problem with the one that we have here, it goes directly to the video where it was originally uploaded by Make-A-Wish. So I emailed that just in case anyone has a problem.
Yep. Well, thank you.
So you're going to try to play the video?
It won't. Everyone has to do it on their own. Do you see it, Ken? Do you see the link?
Yep. I just received the link. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'll catch you later then.
Yep. Awesome. I'll end the training in a little bit. Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Be safe, everyone.